Thank you guys and gals for making comments on my videos. Sometimes they really help. The latest series has been on nutrition related to health, both physical and mental well-being. And I already knew about the role that zinc plays in autism because it's on the website autismcoach.com, having to do with methylation. And there are reviewers on Amazon who talk about this, who say that for those of us who need to get our B vitamins methylated, or else they just go through us and we pee them out and they're useless, they're wasted. That pertains to the only two B vitamins are B12 and folic acid. When folic acid is methylated, it becomes folate, F-O-L-A-T-E. But this methylation issue, zinc is involved, and I looked up absorbability of zinc, and zinc gluconate is only 70% absorbable, and zinc acetate is 100% absorbable. Well, zinc oxide, you can forget that. You spread that on your nose or something. You don't eat that unless you've got the digestion of an ox. So I do take potassium chloride to up my hydrochloric acid intake in a way without having to jeopardize my continued taking it, provided I combine it with lemon juice. So that helps absorbability, but I do need to absorb my zinc. So how do we absorb zinc? The easiest way, I eat a healthy diet, right? I include seaweed, and various things, but I'm not absorbing what I eat. With regard to zinc, if I don't include vinegar in my meals, or one meal a day or thereabouts, or once in a while, a couple of times a week, because the vinegar will help me utilize the zinc in my food. Otherwise, it goes to waste. So what I elected to do was start sprinkling vinegar on, let's say, cooked rice, and my stomach it's so unsettling for me to eat vinegar as a vegan that I have to eat fish with it. There's no way around it. I have to settle my stomach to be able to handle vinegar. But what other way is there if I'm not absorbing my zinc properly and I end up schizophrenic because I'm not absorbing zinc? I take a B complex, so I get the B6, but the zinc in my diet is not being absorbed. Well, I did a roundabout thing. I ordered some zinc lozenges that are based on zinc acetate, and I may think of ordering zinc acetate powder through Amazon. But in the meantime, I don't have extra money to do this, but I do have raw apple cider vinegar, Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and I do have these zinc rods that are very pure zinc. I got them from megabiz.com, I think it's called, in which they use the galvanic response between a pure zinc rod and a pure section of copper pipe. They're placed on either side of the testicles to boost testosterone production. So I bought a whole bunch of them some years ago, 4 years ago in fact, and I made a few videos about it, but I couldn't think what else to do with them, and I tried using the zinc rod instead of silver or alongside silver to make something similar to colloidal silver with my colloidal silver generator, but it didn't work. But now I'm thinking with the ionic approach that I take to silver, namely I put a piece of silver wire in the bottom of my drinking water and then put various salts or acids in there to help eat away at the silver to create some silver ions in a small amount. Why don't I do the same thing with the zinc rod? So I have apple cider raw vinegar in a small container, and I put the zinc rod in there, and then I sprinkled a little bit of that vinegar on my food. So I have a roundabout way in the interim of getting zinc supplements in the acetate form to not only add vinegar to my diet so I can absorb the zinc that's already in my food, because like seaweed contain between 1 and 2 milligrams of zinc. That's a lot of zinc, if you're starving for zinc. But can you absorb it? And I even have zinc gluconate tablets, 50 milligrams, I believe. But at best, they're 70% absorbable, and at worst, God only knows. So I take them now so that at least the zinc gluconate is in my gut, and then to help me absorb it, I'll have a meal with a little vinegar, and then I can boost my absorbability of that zinc gluconate. So that's what I'm doing currently. And I do find an improvement in a sense, because, you know, well-being overall, it's nice. So it's funny that for lack of vinegar, you know, a person should suffer. And I was thinking, what helped me think about this was the memory of what I read online about how silver was used by the wealthy back in the day of the bubonic plague that prevented them from coming down with the bubonic plague. They stored their 4 beverages in silver urns: water, wine, milk, and vinegar. And it's the vinegar that would have probably the most amount of silver content of all those 4 beverages, I'm assuming. I don't think alcohol is going to produce much silver ions, but vinegar, oh boy. So, but I thought to myself, why would vinegar be so important to the diet of ancient peoples? You know, semi-ancient peoples. You know, what's so special about vinegar? You know, it's the end product of the fermentation of wine. You know, most people, okay, I can understand. They want to have a little wine with their meal to help them relax, but why vinegar? You know, vinegar's weird. As a vegan, it poses a challenge for its weirdness. You know, I can appreciate grapefruit and the tartness of lemon, but vinegar? That's really weird. But now I see. It's to help people absorb the zinc in their diet. Otherwise, the zinc that they consume will go to waste. They'll poop it out, and they won't even get to pee it out because it won't even enter the bloodstream. It'll just stay in their gut. You know, zinc's not that easy. That's why we use to absorb. That's why we use zinc oxide on our nose. You know, you see the lifeguard with the white coating on his or her nose. That's zinc oxide, because it's not that easy to dissolve zinc, especially oxide. So it makes a good sunblock. But we want to absorb it if we're going to eat it, or else it's going to waste. So that's my latest ideas on nutrition, and it's working out pretty good. And the other thing is, I'm staying away from gluten at the moment. I'm giving myself a break. I know I'll never stay away from it forever. I am staying away from sugar, except when I have cereal. When I have cereal, I have water with ground brown flaxseed, and then to sweeten it, I use licorice root, true licorice, you know, not the licorice candy. And that is kind of sweet, and that does mess me up. And one of the symptoms of this condition that starts with the letter P-Y, I can't remember the full name of the thing. It kind of is similar to the name pyorrhea, but it's not. It's something else. They actually list sugar sensitivity, and I thought, oh, that's me. You know, I love my vegetables, but oops, I can't even eat stewed apples. My God, the sugar content is ferocious. Ferocious? Horrendous. Ferocious. I'm like Lewis Carroll. I'm making new words out of combining words. Whatever. Ferocious. Ferocious and horrendous is ferocious. So there were several symptoms that certainly, you know, I qualify for. But then it jogged my memory when they were talking about, well, what do you do about it? Oh, zinc and B6. Zinc? Oh my God. I remember that from studying autism. Oh my God. So, but who would think that taking vinegar out of your diet, and I loved vinegar as a child. You know, I had very few foods that it's like very common among children. They're very picky about what they want to eat. Well, I drank a lot of milk. I ate a lot of cookies. I ate my vegetables with a vengeance, but I ate my salad with gusto because the salad had salad dressing. And in fact, my brother and I would vie for the salad dressing at the bottom of the bowl, of the salad bowl. But I wish I had asked for fish, because I didn't like meat, and chicken I was neutral on. But my brother and my mother were really big beef and meat eaters. They loved the stuff, and so they gave me ground round because I couldn't chew the meat, let alone enjoy the taste, unless it was very expensive, filet mignon or something. But it wasn't my cup of tea. I liked fish only if it had no bones. I hate bones to pick at them, so basically I would eat jumbo shrimp, because there are no bones there. No bones about it. But truly my favorite fish is mackerel. And trout, again, without the bones. It's been a while since I've eaten shrimp, so my tastes have changed over the years, So I don't know if I would still like trout like I did as a kid, but as a young adult and now as an older adult, I love mackerel. I can't stand salmon. I'm so sick of it. Anybody pushes salmon. Salmon. Tuna. Oh, phew. Give me a break. But it's amazing how many foodstuffs from an animal, flesh food, particularly seafood, are rich in zinc, as well as land-based flesh foods. It's really uncanny. I don't know why that's the case, but it shows you where zinc congregates in the physiology, in the muscle tissue, for one thing. So bodybuilders take zinc for a good reason. They want to build up their muscle mass. Of course, they'd benefit if they also included to their supplement list iodine and iodide. Few know about that magical moment of changing the balance of body fat to body muscle. What's the balance between muscle versus fat? Iodide will do that. It'll switch you away from body fat to body muscle when putting on weight. But zinc is another one, and I may not be iron anemic. I don't get much benefit from taking iron supplement, but zinc, very interesting, and all for lack of vinegar in the diet, not for lack of flesh. And my stepfather used to think, oh, you're so antisocial, you don't eat beef like everybody else does, or meat. He could be so wrong, but he doesn't even know it. Anyway, all for lack of vinegar. And anybody can eat vinegar. Well, presumably, in theory anyway. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without fish to get me to stomach vinegar. Maybe I could take soy milk and make my own paneer style cheese by curdling soy milk with vinegar. I could see that, but most of the vinegar would be separated out with the whey, and there'd just be a residue left with the cheese. But that's actually probably enough, because vinegar is pretty powerful stuff. So that's actually what I should think about doing. The problem, though, is it's not going to work. It's a lot of work filtering out the fiber of soy milk, as I discovered recently. It's not worth the effort for me. I like everything easy. And unless you take out the soy fiber, the okara, or from the soy milk mash, you can get stomach indigestion really easy. I can. It's really easy. Unless you take that fiber, filter it out, and toast it. It makes a great breakfast cereal. But only because it's raised to a very high temperature in the toasting process. It's probably why soy nuts and soy nut butter is so popular, because it's toasted, and so it makes it possible to eat the fiber and get away with it and not get any kind of bloat and indigestion from eating soy fiber. Because for some reason boiling soybeans is not good enough for us to handle the soy fiber, and that's why the Asians make soy milk and make tofu out of that, because they wouldn't handle it either. They're no different than us. They're not genetically superior when it comes to eating soy. They just know how to work with it. Eat a lot of seaweed and remove the fiber, and anyway. So that's my latest video on vinegar and schizophrenia. How about that?